When the referee's whistle sounds, when the beautiful flicks and tricks account for the goals and wins, when the tempers flare and the passion is in overdrive, where do you stand as a fan? It is time to turn your passion into some real cash. Monetize your shouts at 138.com, the newest and best sports betting and virtual gaming company in town. Sign up and enjoy 200% bonus on your first deposit on www.138.com/Africa. Experience live in play with unbeatable odds, endless markets and prompt payment. Mobile money enabled with quick deposit and easy withdrawal. Visit any of our retail shops in Accra, at Alaju, Caprice, Jamestown, Taifa, Soweto and Teshi. In Kaswa at Newmarket and Ufako. 138.com is licensed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana and it is not for persons below age 18. Bet responsibly. Call 050-9138-138 for any inquiries. Join the winning team now. 138.com. Win every day.
99.7 Joy FM. This is the Joy Sports Track.
Joy 99.7 FM.
And today, Kwesi Appiah is on board. What should he do as he gets ready for the next game, the next assignment with the national team that will be against Sierra Leone? It's a double header, and during the Kenya game, he had a couple of things to say.
They invited a lot of foreign players, so normally I don't depend totally on what I have seen, because tactically they could change their style of play or they could change some players. So the most important thing is to prepare very well so that whoever comes up, be able to face them. So
that was Kwesi Appiah before the Kenya game. We know how that one went, despite the fact that he mentions that he invited a lot of foreign players. Ghana put up a performance that, depending on which side of the fence you are on, but whatever it is, Ghana lost. And so we'll look at, potentially what we should do going forward. The same team, most of the team, as many of you pointed out during the commentary on that day with me and myself and George, and also in the aftermath, that most of our players are bench warmers anyway. Even our best player right now on form, which if you would say it's Thomas Partey and not Kojo Asamoah, he's not getting a lot of playing time, even though he's our top scorer as well. There are other issues like, are we playing our best players in the best positions? So for example, we usually have a right back playing at centre back, a centre back playing at left back, and we have Thomas Partey playing in a striking position, but he's not a striker by default. But then some will say that he's a top scoring player, so better play him as a striker. We look at all these, and as we look ahead to Kwesi Appiah naming his squad, today it's Black Stars on the boil after 25 minutes after 1 on Joy FM.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Right, so let's dig straight into it. We have in studio Eko, Asma, and then the guys will be joining me. Hans Mensah, Benedict Usudankwa as well. Benedict was in Nairobi for the last game that we played, and so he'll be giving us his thoughts on what he feels Kwesi Appiah should do as well. So, Eko, thank you for joining us. Hans, you too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, straight to the point. We have just about 35 minutes to go. Last time we had Ghana play Kenya, we saw how the team fared. I remember during the commentary you were not too pleased with the way we were going forward, Hans, yourself, and that we were being too predictable. Yes, I remember that was the word you used in the way. So that is from the tactical point of view. But in terms of the players themselves, we heard Ibrahim Tanko afterwards flare the players for not showing up. He said, in his words, they don't understand what it means to wear the Black Star shirt. Right. Is it that they had an off day on that day and so we should keep the same squad? Or we should rejig and look far ahead to some other players who you feel deserve a call-up because they are playing more, consistently for their clubs as well? I'll ask you that and then Eko as well. Hans, start the discussion for us.
So first up, for everyone who watched the game, you will agree with Ibrahim Tanko that the attitude was not the best, and he came out to criticize the players, rightly so. But you can also deny that tactically there was a lot wrong with the team as well. And I kept talking about the fact that we're too predictable when we attack, and that we should vary the way we attacked. And that is why I think that tactically there's a lot wrong with the team, because if a coach is sitting on the bench and cannot see that, the opponent has found a way to defend the way we are attacking, then there is a problem.
Okay, based on that.
That said, I think the individual performances were also not up to scratch. Apart from the commitment levels, players simply did not perform to the levels that they were expected to perform. And so, but again, it becomes difficult to say a player should be called up or shouldn't be called up based on that particular game. However, there are players out there who can do a job for the Black Stars, and we know it. Of course, the one that easily comes to mind is the Ayew brothers, and after the game, people were calling for them to be called back into the team. The coach has got issues with the players. I don't want to say that those issues are personal. You also have to understand where the coach is coming from. Look, if you're a coach, you have a very difficult job in managing players. It becomes even more difficult when you have to deal with egos. Okay. When players decide that they will play this game and not play that game, it is a problem. You need to stamp your authority. I don't want to sit here and wade into his methods of handling his own issues with players, but he has a right to make that call. He decided he's not going to call them. Let's look beyond their use and look at other players that we do have out there. Sure. And there are several of them
who are being consistent.
Who have been consistent. Look, for a very long time, I've always mentioned this. One of the things I don't understand about the Black Stars is why someone like Enoch Kofi doesn't get a look into the Black Stars. It just doesn't add up. Call him, give him a round of games, maybe 3-4 games, and let him not perform and refuse to call. Now, understand.
But
for a player for a very long time,
Champions League.
It was the same with Nana Kwesi Asare, formerly of Goma Fete Feyenoord. Very consistent with was it Utrecht in the Belgian Jupiler League, and he was not getting a look in. There are several other players. John Entry has been consistent for the last 4 years,
John Entry,
albeit on the African continent, but he's banging in the goals. Several other players are doing well. Let's cast the net wider. There are a lot of other Ghanaian players out there who can come in and do a job. They are Ghanaian, are they not? By virtue of their nationality, they qualify to play for the Black Stars. By virtue of the fact that they meet the basic minimum criteria for playing for the Black Stars, which is to be playing regularly for your club. They qualify to play for the. So for me, I don't want to come up with all the names, but let's cast the net wider. There are a lot of Ghanaian players out there who can do a job for the Black Stars.
Isn't casting the net wider what Kwesi Appiah specializes in doing? That we say that in the last year he promised to have a settled team by June or so. Yeah. And he still. I remember when he named the squad. One of the criticisms I read online and elsewhere was that but you said you were going to have a set team so that we move forward by now, and you are still doing calling new players every now. Because when the name of Willie Owusu came up, people were saying that you have set names as well. Echo, what do you think? How does Kwesi Appiah strike the balance between making you people happy, casting the net wide? Yes, Ghanaians.
You're not a Ghanaian.
Casting the net. I'm the interviewer here, so I say you people casting the net wide and also having a consistent team quickly so that we move.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to address the Tanko issue because it's not his place to talk about the team's performance. He's not the coach.
No, but he's the assistant coach.
Yeah, he's not the head coach.
But Kwesi Appiah did not talk. That's why.
Yeah, let's get it clear. Yeah, there are certain protocols, that we must observe. When a team loses or wins, it's the head coach who has to talk.
Before you go, Kwesi Appiah typically in his first stint and second stint is something he does often.
Or he can leave the job and go.
He does that a lot. And he will say the assistant to come and talk.
Yeah, so but it's not acceptable. No, it's not acceptable. But it is not, because then
he has done it. Let's move on.
But I'm saying it's not acceptable in the sense that we are doing reforms, right? Oh no, we are trying to advise him. Because Tanko is not the head coach.
Yes, but Kwesi Appiah says
when the team wins, Kwesi Appiah gets the credit.
Yes.
If the team loses, he should address the issues, not Tanko. That's the first point I wanted to make. By the way, I just saw Benedict just come here. There's a theory that every time Benedict goes with the team, we lose. We went to Alexandria, we lost. Went to Nairobi, we lost. I mean, I'm just joking. Just messing with you.
Programs manager, are you listening? Programs manager, are you listening?
No, I'm just messing with him. He just got in and just messing him. But I was just making a point. we should stick to that. You take the credit when we don't mention Tanko.
Okay.
You don't hear anybody else.
So you take
if
the
we
lose.
lose. Yes,
Okay.
when we lose, address the issue.
Sure.
Don't then run and leave it to your. No, I don't accept that.
It's not as if Kwesi Appiah didn't address any issue after the game. He spoke. Tanko also spoke. So it was Tanko's view.
But
Kwesi Appiah also spoke. He spoke about why he didn't start with someone.
Good point. But let's.
I know Echo.
So it's not a case about Kwesi Appiah not speaking after matches.
You have. If I allow Echo, we will talk about this Tanko issue for 5 minutes.
Okay, let's move on. That's not a hit against Tanko. I love
Thank
it.
you. Yeah,
I love it. I was just going by procedure. Okay, then the real issue about Hans mentioned commitment.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Some players did not show commitment. What about the managers? Did they show commitment to winning the game?
How so?
Were they committed to winning that game?
How so?
Who was going to score our goals for us?
Yeah.
Who?
Rafael Jamina.
You win goals by scoring, right? Outscoring your opponent.
Yeah, sure.
So who was going to score our goals for us?
Well, if you mean our strikers.
If they were committed to winning the match,
yeah.
Who was going to score our goals for us?
We had chances and we didn't score.
Oh, who was going to score for us?
Our players, the players.
Who was the striker?
Rafael Jamina, Majid Waris.
No, Jamina was on the bench.
You mean those they called?
Yes.
Majid Waris was on.
Him?
Oh.
So the coach was committed to winning and used a player that had not been scoring for the Black Stars.
Oh.
What was the criteria for calling him? Please.
So what if
tell Ghanaians.
So what if he had scored?
No, what if? What is the criteria for calling players? We should have a criteria for calling players. Don't chip in the Black Stars. After all, the name means stars. Stars shine. Is he shining for his club? He's not even playing.
How many strikers then will you call?
No. You are calling Majid Waris.
Yes.
Is he shining for his club based upon which you are calling him? No. So why did you call him?
So
is this some kind of kululu?
Which is why we are having this discussion. I have a couple of names here of people.
I can give you names
in various positions.
Look,
yes.
Emmanuel Boateng was out.
He was injured.
But
yes.
a small sample though. But he's excelled for the period.
Sure.
Richmond Boachi Adam has shown that given the opportunity, he will shine.
Okay.
For Black Stars. He's demonstrated. Patrick Chumesi, small sample.
Sure.
So why didn't give him another opportunity? Hans mentioned a player, so we'll give him 2-3 chances, and then
you've mentioned names of players that quickly I want to correct something. You talked about Patrick Chumesi. Since he moved to Levante, he's not played a single game.
Oh, what about Majid Waris?
The last game he played, they actually came on. Majid Waris is playing, but he's not scoring. But you're talking about players getting.
Yeah, but if you are giving such a player another opportunity, why don't you give the other players
about players getting caught up into the team?
Only be one game at a time.
Majid doesn't score for Black Stars.
No.
What was the last time Majid scored for Black Stars? Somebody tell me.
The Kumasi game.
How many years ago?
Yeah, that was in the Kumasi. I think 4 years.
So what's the criteria?
But no, you are talking about criteria of players getting into the team, playing at your club regularly, right? And I'm saying that you mentioned names of players.
Yeah, Chumesi plays for Alaves.
Yeah, Deportivo. No, Chumesi. Yeah, he's with Deportivo Alaves. Where Mubarak Wakasu plays.
Sure.
Now, since he moved there from Kazakhstan, he's had few games, few minutes. And that player, would you call him ahead of a player who is playing regularly at his club? No, you wouldn't do
Majid
that.
Waris.
Yeah.
Because Majid Waris is playing at Nantes.
The
fact that he's not scoring goals does not mean that he's not playing.
What's he supposed to do for Nantes?
I'm saying that per your analysis and
but if you're going to bring a player into the Black Stars, he should be shining at his club in the capacity for which you call him.
Richmond Boachi Adam had just moved from China to
yeah, and what has he been doing?
So
what has he been doing since he got there?
No, but since he came back, Richmond Boachi Adam is scoring. He's played 2 games and scored 2 goals
this weekend.
Yeah, and you know what? In the next call up, if Richmond Boachi Adam is not in, there you have a case. But looking at the last one, there's no way you call a player who was unsettled in China.
But didn't you invite Frankie Champon from the same Channel League?
No, but Frankie Champon is playing very well in scoring.
He showed up. He got injured in camp. You called him from China. Why didn't you call Richmond then?
Because Richmond was not consistent in China.
But Champon was very well.
We should have criteria. Certain leagues we shouldn't call players from.
Oh, you want to go the Cameroon way?
Major League Soccer. It's a retirement league.
Okay, need I remind you,
China,
that for the better part of 8 years,
your
player who was number 3. Where has
my player?
Yes, the Ghana player.
I have a player.
The Ghana player.
The Ghana player who was number 3 behind his back.
You mean Ghana's captain?
Yeah, where does he play again?
Now.
Where was he playing?
Was or now?
Then and now.
Now he's in Turkey.
Yes, when he was on form, where was he playing?
Well, it's up to the coach. No, it's up to the coach. Listen, the coach must come out with criteria.
Yes, but you said we shouldn't have places like China.
But you should China and the US. No.
What about UAE? If Azerbaijan were
let me come quickly.
I'm not the coach, but if I were,
to be fair to Eko,
I'm not the coach.
Eko accuses me normally of not letting him land. So let me.
I've never done that. I don't remember. I don't recollect ever do that.
No problem.
But I'm saying, if I were the coach, those retirement leagues, no. UAE. China, MLS, no, nobody.
Yeah, but players from
those. At the end of the day, you expect me to produce results,
but players from those leagues led the charge for Cameroon to win the AFCON.
Yeah, you're talking about the past.
Oh, this man.
We're talking about now.
Last year.
Yeah, but what about the current coaching staff there? They don't want anybody from those leagues.
Yes, but do you know what Cameroon got in terms of their result the last game?
They did not lose.
Yes,
but they did not lose.
They drew.
But Ghana did not draw. Ghana lost.
Quick point, Gary.
Yeah.
On the tangent that Eko finds himself now.
Wow, it's an interesting tangent.
And it's a question I want to ask him. If you say we shouldn't call players from the MLS, from the Chinese league, what then will be the justification for calling a player from the Ghana Premier League?
When was the last time Kwesi Appiah called any player from?
No.
He's not calling them.
It's a hypothetical question he's asking you.
If you are not calling players from the Chinese league, from the Major League Soccer, from Qatar's league, what would be the justification
if the Ghana Premier League were on now
from the Ghana Premier League? Then essentially,
first
you are saying that we shouldn't even.
First criteria: Ghana is ranked way above those retirement leagues.
Sir.
Ghana. The only exception being the US.
The Ghana Premier League.
Yes.
Wait, let me
above the MLS.
No, I'm talking about Ghana, the country Ghana. If you take the exception being the USA, which is ranked ahead of Ghana.
Okay.
For the rest, we are ahead of them.
What about the leagues?
Leagues.
No, yeah, I was specific about Ghana. I didn't talk about the leagues. I'm talking about the country. The standard of play.
Compare the leagues.
The leagues and the country.
But this is pedigree. This is a sample. This is a sample I'm taking.
Oh,
I'm the one making that argument. It's not you. You're not making that argument. I'm saying countries that are better ranked than Ghana. Yes.
All right.
Not countries from which we are better ranked. Of course, you can have exceptions if there are players there that are exceptional. But that would be the general rule. You can have exceptions within the rule.
Eko, let me just crystallize your point so that the listeners have an idea what you're trying to say. You have a problem with that selection criteria, even.
Yes.
That's first.
Yes.
That is why you think we are not doing well.
It's one of the reasons.
Yes. The
second is there seems to be kululu in the selection, because for somebody like Majid Waris to lead Ghana's hopes and aspirations of going to Cameroon is a big no-no.
Okay.
It's a big no-no. When you check the stats, if you go scientific, how many goals has he scored in whenever?
Okay.
When was the last time he scored for Black Stars?
Yeah.
0. In how many years?
Do you agree that coaches, though, sometimes national team coaches, and I always come to the famous example of, for example,
Torres Michu.
Torres Michu. Or Richard Kingston. There was a time in this country where he was clubless.
That was the exception. I talked about exceptions.
Okay. So
there are exceptions.
Majid Waris may not have been scoring, but we know players who, for their national teams, and in Ghana we have some. When they put on their national team yesterday, they are
not him.
Not him.
Look, I predicted ahead of the match that it will amount to nothing, and he wasted our chances.
Okay.
This is on record.
All right.
He's played for Ghana. I've watched him. You know his classes. I love him though.
He runs into spaces.
He's great at finding space.
Yes.
Always. That rather compounds his problems, because then he gets the opportunities and wastes them. You know what I mean? Some players hide. Some strikers, they hide. They make it impossible for you to give them the ball when they know they are not doing well. Typical example, Sam Yeboah, one has a folk player.
I
Sam Yeboah, when he wasn't doing too well, Mohamed Polo had just returned, and you know Polo's passes are laser guided.
Yeah.
He was always finding him, and then he was wasting them, and the fans were mad at him, so he started dodging. He would be hiding behind the defenders. That's the problem with Majid Waris. He's great at finding space. He's a good athlete. Actually, he will be better on the wings for Ghana than him leading the attack. Okay. So if you're going to use Waris at all, it should be on the wings.
On the wings.
Because he's very good. He has speed. He can find space, but he can't finish.
All right. Thank you for that point. You have gone into a place where we landed in our morning meeting, you know, when planning for the show. Hans made that point that Kwesi Appiah, he feels Kwesi Appiah is playing a lot of our very good players in the wrong positions. Can you expatiate?
I think that if we have a full house, where a centre back you can call
a full house being a full complement of players who are fit.
Exactly, who are fit.
Okay.
If you can call on John Boy, if you can call on Jonathan Mensah, call on Nuhu, Sumaila. Those are 4 centre backs. if you can call Yadom, if you can call Nicolas Opoku even, if you can call Yadom Arisenafo, Barbara Man, Lumo as well. Yeah. You have essentially four lateral defenders as well.
Yeah. Okay.
And then in midfield, I mean, I can't begin to mention the names that we have there. And then you can look at attack. But consistently, we are seeing someone like Daniel Amate play as centre back for the Black Stars. We see Thomas Partey play as a pseudo attacker of a sort. Now, in my mind, I picture a Black Stars midfield where you are playing Thomas Partey, you are playing Daniel Amate.
No.
Okay, those are natural midfielders.
Yeah.
And you are playing maybe Mubarak Wakasu with Free Aqua or Alfred Duncan or Kodwa Samoa, whichever combination. These are all central midfielders.
Yeah.
Rabiu Mohamed, even we understand he's now playing regularly for his club as well. And then you have the wingers in Christian Achu, in maybe the Dayo or Jordan, whichever one you choose. But essentially, play each player in their rightful position and play 4-4-2. Because see, my thinking is this: the players do not spend a lot of time together.
Exactly.
And so, if you complicate the system, it becomes difficult for them to play. It becomes difficult for them to be creative even.
Sure.
Look, and here's a point I've made for the last 10 years. Go to any primary school at Adabraka or Newtown, anywhere. Select 22 kids and ask them to divide themselves 11 apiece and play football. They will line up in a 4-4-2 formation.
Yeah.
You understand me? That is what, I mean, it's natural. It comes naturally to us. It's what we know as Ghanaians. And so these boys have grown up playing this sort of football. When they come from their various clubs where they've played in different systems and stuff like that, revert them back to their natural instinct in terms of the system that they have to play. Play them in the right position, and I think they'll be good to go.
Good summary. Where do we play Kodwa Samoa? It seems, I mean, as I said, when I spoke to him before the World Cup in the interview that was played, he did mention that I asked him, having played under Conte, he admitted that Conte has rewired him. Those were his words. That these days, if you ask him, if we put you, in the number 10 position for the Black Stars, or even you go to Inter and they decide to put you behind the strikers, would you be able to play well? He says, he can play. However, he admitted that it won't come naturally to him, and he will suffer a bit because he's not played in that position for a long time. He comes to the Black Stars and we chuck him immediately, when he comes off the bench behind the strikers. Okay. Does it fit into your description of playing?
It does. Here's where the difference would be. You have to look at the system that he plays at Juve and then at Inter Milan. Mm-hmm. It might be possible that a lot more will be required of him at Inter Milan in the system that they play. However, if you stick with somewhere in a 4-4-2 as a number 10 in the Black Star setup, I do not think you can tell me that he won't be able to function. It's how he's played growing up.
I'm telling you what he told me 2 months ago.
I understand you.
The man says that when Conte came, he wanted him to play in this position because somebody got injured.
Was Conte playing a 4-4-2? That's a question.
He was playing a 4-3-3. Exactly. But he was being playing on the flanks as a left winger, as we all know. So he says that he's lost a bit of that natural ability to play behind the striker.
Even then,
yes.
Let's decide. Let Kodwa Samoa decide. Where are you most comfortable playing this? Because players evolve.
Sure.
If Kodwa Samoa tells the coach, look, now I feel I play better as a left back, play him there. Way too many square pegs. One day we are going to have a goalkeeper in attack.
So we are moving the discussion for two things there. I'll come to you.
No, just a simple question. I want to.
I just want to summarize for the benefit of listeners.
I just want to ask.
Hold on. Right. You ask, but at the Joy Sports Track, we are talking about the Black Stars. We want to achieve quite a lot in a bit of time, which is why I'm giving my panelists. Yeah, I'm not rushing it. I'm just making.
Portioning.
Yes, I'm apportioning the time like cake. You know what I mean? So we want to know what Kwesi Appiah should do in terms of becoming a winning coach.
Yeah.
First of all, we heard him say that he has chosen the best players, the best foreign players. We know that he has some issues with some players. He will not say it openly. So it means that we are already shorn of some of our most experienced. Maybe the word is not best.
Absolutely.
Some may disagree that Andre and Jordan and maybe Kevin Prince Boateng are some of our best players now, even though they are performing. So some of our, are more experienced players. In studio with me is Eko Asma, who says that he believes that Kwesi Appiah is not even doing the selection properly in the first place. Hans also believes that Kwesi Appiah is putting square pegs in round holes, because if you look from goalkeeping to the front, there are players who are not being played in their natural positions. I also maintain that we have a lot of players who are bench warmers, and that is one key issue. You don't expect bench warmers to just come into your Black Stars and function at peak 100% when they are not getting enough playing time.
But that breeds suspicion. that breeds suspicion. Because we know Kwesi Appiah, the player, the great player.
Yeah.
And we know the quality he's used to. And we know the last time Ghana won, it was even because of him that we even qualified to go to Libya. Yeah. And the kind of stars on parade when Ghana last won. So he knows the quality that he's supposed to get for the Black Stars. So for him to pick bench warmers, it breeds suspicion. You know, even at club level, today, Kevin Keegan is saying that while he was at Newcastle, some players were signed only because they wanted to please agents.
Yeah.
So that's what Kwesi Appiah is doing.
It breeds suspicion. If they are benching, if they are bench warmers, and Black Stars supposed to be for players that are shining, which he already knows, why is he bringing bench warmers?
We'll dedicate the last 10 minutes to the players who are actually getting playing time, and then we wrap it up from it.
Okay, so Eko, would you be okay that we disband these so-called senior players who are not playing regularly at their club level and bring players, relatively unknown players who are playing regularly at their club level and then lose? What would you say?
That should be the rule. You can make exceptions. If you are
so for whom would you make the exceptions?
Thank you.
That's the question.
Yeah, for exception, right away is the captain, Asamoah Gyan. Asamoah Gyan with malaria, even suffering malaria. now bench warming, suffering malaria.
He's sick.
Yeah,
he's ill.
So malaria kills people.
Even he was
on the field killing himself.
Yeah.
So that would be the exception, and maybe others can come up with a few others. Sure. But we should have rules, and then we can make exceptions within those rules. There's nothing wrong with that.
The players are quite clearly competent.
When they have the reputation.
Yeah.
You know, so making the rule shouldn't be. We shouldn't think about the exceptions and forbid ourselves from making the rules.
Sure.
No.
Sure.
We should make those rules.
So that's a cause as well. Again.
Hans was talking about Kwesi Appiah playing players out of position. Yeah. The simple question I want to ask is, I mean, can you name the players that play them out of position?
He mentioned Dalamati.
No, Dalamati.
Yeah, being playing as a centre back.
Dalamati for how many years? No, Dalamati for the last 2 years have been playing at centre back. And what's been the result? Has he failed to perform? No, in my view, he has not. Dalamati, when it comes to the Black Stars playing at centre back, he's done marvelously well.
Here's a question.
You understand? I'm coming.
No, hold on. Let's finish.
No, I just want us to look at the players. You go to right back, Harris Nafford. Harris Nafford naturally can play on the left and right as well.
Sure.
But we stuck to him at the right side, which is playing very well. Now we don't have a left back. Looking at our last game, because of injuries to Baba Rahman and also Luma.
Baba is playing.
Yeah, but Baba Rahman says we should give him time to.
That's also an issue.
Let's not confuse our listeners. Baba Rahman says we should give him time to settle at his club because he's been.
No, he just came.
But that's what Kojo Asamoah said, and it lasted 4 years.
Oh, but you see, but we have to be. You know, I don't want us to go into other areas.
Because there's an issue of commitment.
You see,
today Kwesi Appiah will say some players they choose when they want to play. I'll play this game, I won't play that game. And yet you invited somebody who for 4 years was not playing for Ghana.
And now
that is being Kojo Asamoah. You see, if you say some people they are not committed. Today they want to play, tomorrow they don't want to play. And somebody has not been playing for 4 years and you just bring him in.
Okay.
And where is the commitment?
All right. Benedict.
It's not even consistent.
So in terms of the players we are talking about, Kwesi Appiah playing them out of positions, I have a different view because some of the players, even we've played them out of positions, have excelled. You understand? Unless maybe
like who?
No, I mentioned Dalamati.
Okay.
Dalamati at centre back, he's been
for the Black Stars.
Yeah, he's been marvelous. I mean, which other player?
Marvelous.
He's
been okay, not marvelous.
No, he's been marvelous. I mean, Dalamati is the same person we were applauding at the Africa Cup of Nations. If you remember,
yes,
the last AFCON, that even he should start getting playing time at his club, and that we needed him to play more often at his club level. And at the Black Stars, he's not been that bad in that position.
Remind me, at the Nations Cup,
it's not the same as marvelous.
At the Nations Cup, was Amate played at centre back?
Centre back.
Somebody
John Boy.
No, he played well.
No, he played at centre back throughout with John Boy.
Yeah, he did play well
with John Boy, and he played very well.
Okay, so here's my question.
Yes.
Simple question to Benedict. Between Daniel Amate playing as centre back and playing in his natural position as a midfielder, where are we going to get the best out of you?
The thing is,
there lies my argument.
In Daniel Amate's position as a midfielder, there are equally good players there that can play as well, because you have a Free Akwa who is also playing very well, and you've not told me that the Free Akwa has been bad in that position.
But you see, I think Amate will do a better job in midfield than Free Akwa.
No.
That really is my
argument.
You see, so you see what we have.
And again,
what we have established is how difficult Kwesi Appiah's job is.
It's not difficult. He just said it's easy. You can run 5 teams.
We have so many midfielders.
Okay, guys, Benedict, Hans, please make your point.
The phenomenon of playing, let's say, Dana Amate as centre back instead of midfield is making certain players comfortable. Like a free aqua. Because hold it.
I have to interject.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Go on.
We've seen a free aqua's performance in recent times with the Black Stars. It's not been the same free aqua who burst onto the scene. You understand me? Let a free aqua be minded that Amate is going to play as a midfielder. That is competition instantly for him. So he thinks about it and it guides his performance. If every Aqua knows Amate is going to come and is going to play a centre back, there is no threat to his position in the starting lineup.
Particularly when you're now calling.
You understand? So for me,
what's his name? Wakasu.
Yes. Amate is doing a good job as centre back, but I think he'll do a better job in central midfield, which is his natural position. Look at Rafael Dramina when he came in, and I kept making this point. You've got Majid Waris, diminutive in size, in the middle of an attacking trio. Dramina comes on and decides to stick him down the flank and leave Waris in the middle of attack. 90 minutes. But it doesn't make sense. For the system we're playing, the first I mentioned it, you are crossing balls to Majid Waris, who is not tall enough to compete.
Against
you bring on Dramina and decide to let him do the crossing for Waris, who's not able to compete. The taller player crossing for the shorter player. Well, in which head does it sit?
It's some Kululu. I'm telling you,
I think the next question.
Suspicion.
One of the things I was thinking about while preparing for this show was that I'm going to get divergent views, but I knew we were going to come to this point where you can't seem to please anybody, and the only real measure of what you do as a Black Stars national team coach, because every country is very, very exacting. Is the result. If you had done this against Kenya and he had won 2-0, we wouldn't be here talking.
Yeah, but you see, but it's great for us.
But you didn't get a result.
It's great for us so that we can improve. We can really see, because there are discipline issues. The coach himself is not even disciplined.
Okay. Now, speaking of discipline,
he himself is not disciplined.
The elephant in the room. Look, Wakaso, they are you brothers thing.
Yeah. KP Watson.
Yes, I didn't want to broach it. I really didn't want to broach it. But we have to go there.
Yeah, let's go there.
Kevin Prince is playing well. Like, it's not even a joke.
Even last season he was still playing.
Yes, it's not even a joke. And I see Epson smiling there. Look, this subject, we debated it heavily this morning as to whether we should talk about it. But we know you guys out there are really passionate about the Kevin argument. Yeah. And if I say I'm opening phone lines now, it will be a bloodbath. So we won't. But Benedict, you brought the Kevin discussion this morning. What is your point in 30 seconds?
Yeah, if you're talking about players that are playing consistently at club level and in form, as Echo wants Kwesi Appiah to do, that bring in players that are playing regularly.
Stars.
Yeah, that are playing regularly at their club football. And I think Kevin Prince-Martin is one of those players that now deserves a call up in the Black Stars, only if Kevin will come. And somebody like Bernard Mensah, who plays for Kayserispor, he's also been very consistent at this club level. Look at Mubarak Wakasu as well. Deportivo Alaves, he's playing week in, week out, and there is no way we are talking about.
No, tell us, stop on Wakasu, please. Look, tell us, you are closer to the Black Stars because you are the last person who was in the trip there, and you are closer. What's the issue with Wakasu? Does Kwesi Appiah have a problem with him?
I don't think so. What I know is that, you know, during our last friendly games, I think it was against Japan and Iceland.
Yeah.
He refused to join the team.
Yes, is that where the troubles began?
And since then, he's not been called up. If you acquire initially,
was supposed to.
He also refused to go,
but he joined later. He played.
Why did he allow Ofiriakwa to come?
Please,
you see, the coach has discipline issues.
I beg you a call.
If you acquire joined eventually and played in a game against Iceland.
Yes.
So I presume that probably maybe because the player refused to join the team for those 2 games, that's why he's not being called up.
But here's the issue.
But he's so Kevin, so I'm saying that
Wakaso.
Yeah.
You see, we have players who
can give us the result.
Yes, and it comes down to the points,
so that's what I'm saying.
Kwesi Appiah's ego management issues. His default style is to isolate and ice a player if you don't agree with him on something. Am I like yes or no?
No, that you have a point.
Okay.
But I'm saying that in an instance where we also sit back and look at what the players have done.
Yes.
If you're Kwesi Appiah, would you call that
good player? So right now we are losing against Kenya. Because look, if you have some of the
you want to cut your nose to spite your face,
bro. Yeah, so I'm saying that it's just the game. But my point is, Yes, if I'm Kwesi Appiah.
You are asking me. No, I'm throw the question at me again.
No, I'm not asking a question. I'm just making a point. If I'm Kwesi Appiah, and Mubarak Wakasu is playing very well, okay,
as he is
now, and based on probably maybe previous experiences that didn't go quite well with me, I'll bring him in. That's if I'm Kwesi Appiah.
Yeah. That's a point.
If Kevin Prince Boateng, is playing very well now, and I know Kevin Prince Boateng will get me the result, I'll bring him in.
Yeah.
Andre Ayew and his brother, I think that Jordan, even in the last game, should have been in the Black Stars.
Yeah, sure.
Because you look at the front line we call, all the players, if you had Jordan in there, that would have been great. Andre Ayew then was not playing, but now Andre is playing. The last game that he didn't get playing time
if it was somewhere, they would say, "They crack anything."
So, for me, I think that the players that are playing very well, as we all want.
Kwesi Appiah should put his ego aside, go to these players, talk to them, because Kwesi Appiah, that is what boys do. You see, boys.
The bit about the bit about going around and talking to players, I don't think it's something.
No, but he has to just bring them in. If you have an issue with them, sort it with them, and get us the results.
Are we not being simplistic with it?
Look, you see, if you don't qualify for the Cup of Nations, you cry simplicity. No, that's what I'm saying.
You see, you are assuming.
You see, but you lost against Kenya.
Did you
lost against Kenya
to lose against Kenya?
You lose one.
No, did you expect Ghana?
Did you check the results? Did you check the results?
You know, in the aftermath of that Kenya match,
Cameroon,
Nigeria, all of them failed to win their games.
Did they lose?
They drew.
They drew. But there's a difference.
So we
lost to Kenya.
Just an exception. You played against Kenya and you lose. And
okay, guys. Let me put a full stop to it. I'll allow you 30 because look at the time. This is not me.
Yes.
Fine. I'll read a message and I'll allow you to wrap up. The SportsTrack is sponsored by bet138.com. And how would you feel finally after that long search? If you find a place where all you do is win, you can make a move to 138.com, the best sports betting and virtual gaming company in town. So the website is www.138.com/Africa. Register and bet with us to enjoy 200% bonus on your first deposit. The shops, Alajo, Caprice, Kaswa, Jamestown, Taifa, Sotum, and Teshi. 138.com is regulated and licensed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. So, my guys, you've heard what they have to say. Hans believes that Kwesi Appiah should rejig his methods of putting square pegs in round holes and put square pegs in square holes and round holes in square pegs or whatever it is. Benedict also believes that if the players are good, bring them in. That's what he believes, basically. Eko says that there's Kululu in the Black Stars and that they should stop.
Yes, there's Kululu.
Have I summarized it well?
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Lunch for you.
Now,
and Gary, one last thing.
Yeah, one last thing.
10 seconds. I think
we also get together.
No, I think we should just support Kwesi Appiah, and I believe.
We support him. That's why we are pointing it out.
And I believe that Ghana eventually will qualify.
But the final thing, Eko, your time.
I get 10 seconds.
No, Benedict.
Quickly,
did Kwesi Appiah really say that we cannot? You know the thing that he said he did not say.
Should I say for you what he said?
what was it?
He said if he owes any explanation at all, it's only to coaches.
Benedict, did he say that?
Well,
did he say that he doesn't owe anybody any explanation?
Not in those words. He said if he has to explain at all, it's to coaches.
It's to coaches, not to us the ordinary
people.
All right. Just to make that clear. This is 99.7 Joy FM. Today's edition, because it's Black Stars, you never have enough time to finish talking about it, which is why I needed to cut the time and apportion it like I'd cut my favorite trophy from my favorite joint. My name is Gary Al Smith. This program has been sponsored by bet138.com. And Esko Jomenu is here with the news.
Hello, Gary. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So coming up in the